I look good, bitch. I am so proud of myself because this blue lipstick is just everything. Like, everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Natalia, and thanks for tuning in. Today, I am rocking these lovely glasses from I Buy Direct, which is this box right here. You get to try on these nice pair of glasses that fits your prescription. And by the way, they are very fabulous. So shout out to my friend Alicia for hooking me up to this company. This company is absolutely amazing. Comes with it in this box that has this little nice little pouch and everything. It's so cute. It's so simple and I love it. So it's I Buy Direct, which by the way, I am not sponsoring by them, which I would love to. I'm not sponsored by them. Again, I would love to. Just letting you know. That's where I got my glasses from. I should have filmed a makeup look on how I did this look because my eyes is just gorgeous. It's just shimmering. And also, I finally tried this Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Shout outs to my sister Autumn. That setting spray is just blessed. Thank you. It's just truly blessed. But we're not talking about that today. Today, we got a story time. Now this story time is my very first story time, and I can't wait to explain this story because it brings out a perspective of me from what I used to be to who I am now. So stay tuned because this is a very interesting story. This story is when I was in high school and how my 10th grade year was the worst year of my life. So, in 10th grade, just letting y'all know, I was in special ed. I am not afraid to say that. I was in special ed because of I learned things slower than in regular classes, so I wouldn't be able to keep up with other kids, so I needed more time on a certain thing in order to move on to the next page. Even though I made honor rolls in special ed and I did decently okay when I got to regular classes, I still needed help, so I had to be in special ed. So while I was in special ed in 10th grade, it was just the beginning of the school year and I was in my English class and I met a guy. I'm just gonna call him T. I met T. He transferred from another school that was within our county, and he was just new to the place, and he seemed very timid, very shy. And me being all like, "Hi, my name is Naja. Nice to meet you," and like, let's be friends. I just decided to be myself, and we just clicked right away. He hung out with me everywhere from like lunch to certain classes that I had. He knew my friends. He knew where my locker was. And during that time, MySpace was like sure popping with everything. So we were like MySpace friends, and we would talk every day, every night. We became close, like best friends. And during that time, I was actually dating somebody. I was dating like a childhood friend. Shout outs to you, D. You know who I'm talking about. T was having a hard time trying to figure out like why does he have a girlfriend and all that stuff, and he was just very timid and very shy, but he was able to open up with me, so that made it more easier for him to just connect with me. So this how it got really, it just turned a whole 180. So we coming back from winter break is around 2008. I was in the 10th grade, so it's like 2007 to 2008. So January 2nd, 2008, which is weird that I remember that date because it's the date of my little sister's birthday. But unfortunately, she passed away when she was 4 months old in 97. So rest in peace to Miley. But that date, we came back from winter break, and he decided to pull me aside to tell me how he feels about me personally. And he was telling me that he was falling in love with me, he wanted me to be his girlfriend, and that he enjoyed the fact that we communicate and we talk a lot, and he loved the fact that I take time with him, that I'm open enough to him, and he started to catch feelings for me, and he was hoping that I could be his girlfriend. During that time, I had a boyfriend, so I did not want to mess up that chance by cheating on my boyfriend with him. So I thought that I was kind enough to say, I appreciate your opinions and how you feel towards me, but I am in a relationship right now and I cannot do that to him. And I look at you as a friend, like a brother, no more, nothing less. So I thought that was a nice way to say it. I remember distinctively, once I said that, he said, okay, I understand. And I said, I hope we can still be friends. I literally turned around to get my stuff so that I can start, doing some objectives, some classwork, and you know how like high school shit works. All I remember is that when I did that, he called my name. I turned around and he throws a wooden stool at me, and it missed me by this much. This much. Like, it was this close to hitting me. I immediately ducked and I freaked the fuck out because, one, I'd never been thrown a stool at me, and stools are like 4'11", 5 feet tall. So that much height, and to miss me by that much, is a very traumatizing and scary thing. Also, I didn't know why he did that to me. I don't know what caused him to do that. All I know is that he just threw a stool at me and I ducked. And I almost had a head injury. My teacher saw that. He called the administrator. T just started going off on me, and it was just a very traumatic moment. Everybody's looking at me like, yo, are you okay? And I'm just stunned and speechless. And I was crying because I was like, I don't know what just happened. I almost got hit. I'm freaking out. So after that incident, he was pulled out of the class to the administrative office. Couldn't concentrate. I was not okay. Class was just disrupted. So throughout the day, I was asked by my classmates so many times, like, are you sure you're okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And I was literally not okay because I did not know what to do. I didn't know what just happened. I don't know how to process this shit. So we go to the social studies class, and I remember this teacher, which I hope I see her again. Her name was Miss Webb. She was my social studies teacher. It was Miss Webb. If you ever see this video and you remember my face, you are my favorite teacher in the whole entire world. But back to the story. We had her class, and she is very she has this civil rights personality, like 1960s, like she's been hosed down, chased by dogs type of personality. So she's very strong-minded, like a very independent, strong-minded woman. That's what I loved about her. And one of the students told her about what happened with me, which forced me to tell her exactly what happened. And she was like, so what are you gonna do? I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I was just freaking out. So she was just like telling the principal, this happened, you need to do something, which led to my parents and my sister, who's 2 years older than me, shout outs to Yvonne, who attended the same school as we did. And her class was like down the hall from me. So she had no idea what's going on. So that led to them finding out what happened. And that took me a while to tell my family. Like, it took me like 2-3 days until the administrators called my parents, and then my father brought my sister to the situation, and it forced me to say, I am being harassed by another student. Now, a lot happened within those 3 days, so I'm about to break that down to you. I was thrown. There were times where I was thrown by a cell phone, and it was one of those Nextel phones with the speakers in the front. That one, bitch. That was stalked all over the school. He knew exactly where I was heading, followed me everywhere, and the look in his eyes pierced through me is the most scariest thing in the world. Like, I was traumatized about that because it haunted me. Like, to see him across the hall staring directly at me and making me feel like I should be terrified for my life is the most uncomfortable feeling to ever experience. So when my parents found out about what happened, of course they were upset with me because they was like, why didn't you tell me? How was I supposed to tell you, oh, by the way, I'm getting stalked by my classmate? Now, me and T had one class together, but he followed me throughout all my classes. And there were times where he would put his hands on me and I couldn't do anything. Like one of my teachers was like, if you fight him, I would have to send you to the principal's office and you would get in trouble. So it's like, how can I defend myself if he's hurting me, if he's stalking me and then making me uncomfortable? Like, this is so fucking not fair. The other kids around me did not know what to do because they was like, well, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but this is very creepy. So what my dad did, mind you, I'm crying hysterically about the situation. My dad gave my sister a pocket knife to defend for me because I'm not a fighter and I'm not the one to just swing. So I was literally like, what the fuck do I do? And I'm crying my eyes out. Yvonne, on the other hand, she's very like Mike Tyson. She won't bite you in the ear, but she'll knock you the fuck out pretty much. And Yvonne was my protector. And that whole experience was a lot because I dealt with getting messages on MySpace threatening my life. If I can't have you, no one can have you. I will cut myself. I will hurt you. Like literally several things that would happen to me if he gets near me. And my mom was she should have been a lawyer too, because she kept every MySpace message he sent me, and then he will make other accounts on MySpace so that he can send me long messages and threaten me. Even his cousin, one day I was at my locker, and this is a cell phone incident. He walked up to my locker, threw a cell phone at me, like literally bounced off my forehead, fell on the floor, and he just stormed off. And his cousin walks up to me and he's like, what did you do to my cousin? I'm like, your cousin is harassing me. And all I said was, I have a boyfriend, I don't like him like that. That's pretty much all I said. So for months, from April to June, was pure hell. Even the crazy part is the administrators in that school never experienced a situation like that. So they had a hard time trying to figure out how to protect me from him, but they did more of protecting him instead of protecting me. And also, one of the administrators was trying to hit on my father, and then a police officer for the school was hitting on my mother, and they both was looking at him like, what the fuck? Why the fuck are you trying? This is my daughter's life. I don't need your number. I don't need to flirt with you right now. As you can see, I'm with my wife, and this is about my daughter. Even my sister was getting upset too. And it got to the point where we had the same class. We had the same English class together. They would have to take me out of class to go to the administrator's office and sit in his office with him for an hour and some change. And I remember this administrator, his name was Mr. Geddes. He was also Yvonne and my brother Raymond's teacher back in the day. So when he found out who I was, he didn't know that we were actually all like related. And I give him this, he took real good care of me. He made sure that I was safe. He made sure that if he was near my area to have me walk another way. And he always made sure that I was just pretty much safe. And also, shout out to Yvonne too, because this is what Yvonne did. And this is why Yvonne is one of my best friends. Even though she's like blood sister, she's my best friend. Her friends, she was telling her friends what happened with me. So they saw what I look like. They saw who I am. They will come up to me and say, hey, are you Yvonne's sister? I say, yes. So what they'll do is they'll make sure I walk the other way or I walk with them so that I don't feel threatened coming into school. And there are days where I did not want to come to school because I was depressed. And actually during that depression, I came out as bisexual, which is the very wrong time to do so. For me, it was a wrong time. Take your time coming out. I'm telling you, take your time coming out. This was not the best time for me to come out. So I actually also went emo during that time. I went for months listening to 3 Days Grace, Linkin Park, even though I was already a fan of Linkin Park and Papa Roach for years. I went 9 Inch Nails, Korn, 3 Days Grace, what is another? Hinder? I think it was a group called Hinder. Literally, I was just listening to a lot of emo music. Even System of the Down. I swear, Chop Suey is like that, and BYOB is the best songs by System of the Down ever. So yeah, I went through a real emo phase, and it was very, very hard. I'm trying not to cry. I even went to church, and my bishop said something, and I forgot what he said, but it brought a nerve to me because it was hard to explain to people I'm being stalked by this student. He's doing harmful shits to me. So my mother told my bishop, which led my bishop to tell all the men that's in this church. Mind you, my bishop has like 4 or 5 sons, and there's a lot of men. There are deans and elders, just regular members of the church. They end up coming to my school. Not only them, my brother who just graduated in 2007 and his friends, and then my oldest brother, and then my brother-in-law, all coming up to my school. So when they see me, they be like, all right, go to class. Go straight to class. Go straight to class. Just go straight to class. Don't socialize with nobody. Go to your locker, get your shit, go straight to class. That's how bad it got. It got so bad. So a lot has transpired. He continued to follow me, continued to make it threats. His parents accused me of leading him on, which pissed my mother off because she wanted to find out who the parents were so that she can have some words with him. So then my father, because they did not like the fact that I was being accused of leading their son that way, which I really was not. So also with that, I had to tell my friends that this person cannot be around me because they're doing harmful shit to me. And one of the friends, even though I forgave her, one of the friends did not believe me because she thought I was just like being dramatic and being too much. But when she realized what really happened, during this time she was dating somebody and another friend. Well, she was not dating both of them, but she was dating one of them, and she was also friends with somebody else. They both came up to him and fought him. They was like, if you ever come near her, we will fuck you up. Literally, I was protected by a lot of people, but I still feel like I was alone because I was being stalked in school. I couldn't focus on learning. Thankfully, I did make the honor roll and I passed and all. I just could not focus. So then it leads to one of the most craziest parts of this story. Well, one of the craziest parts, because there's another part that I did which was so stupid of me. I will get to that. So one day we go to lunch. Well, actually no, me and Yvonne just got off the school bus. We were heading to breakfast. I went to the cafeteria to get breakfast while Yvonne was in the gym with her friends. Like before school really starts and before your first period starts, you can go get breakfast if you miss breakfast from your house, and you can just chill with your friends at the gym, play a little basketball, talk girl stuff, talk guy stuff, blah blah blah. So I decided to just walk to the cafeteria. I go to the cafeteria, get my breakfast, I walk out. He's following me and he's calling my name, and I'm ignoring him. He's still like getting closer to me, pushes me to the locker, and was just like trying to fight me, trying to hurt me. And I'm like, just leave me alone, and trying to push him off me. So I'm fighting him in the hallway. Someone sees me fighting him off me and trying to fight him off me. That person calls my sister. My sister, mind you, she still has the pocket knife in her pocket. She comes out, she pushes him off me, pulls out the pocket knife and asks me if I'm okay, and I said no, he's been trying to harm me. And he said to her face, no one, if I can't have her, no one can have her, and try to harm me. That means everybody came out the gym, saw what happened. The security guards had to pull her to the side like, yeah, you can't be pulling out a pocket knife like that. So not only did the whole school know, the teachers know. So now that everybody knows what I look like. So as happy that people are realizing that this is happening to me, I felt embarrassed at the same time, because there's so many eyes on me asking me like, what happened, what did he do, how do you feel? Never went to therapy, never fully discussed how I feel. It took me a while to overcome this situation, because it brought me a lesson to, you can't trust everybody, or not everybody has your best interest in heart. And I remember I had a class on the first floor that I was heading to, and he stood on the other side of the hallway and tried to cut himself in front of me, and he ended up going to a rehab institution for like the weekend. He came back on Monday and I still saw him. Like, I was very, very depressed. I was not the happy-go-lucky Naja, not so bubbly all the time. It was the most harmful thing to ever go through in life. Then around my birthday, I turned sweet 16 years old, and he got me a birthday card and $5. My dumbass was like, I'm gonna keep the $5, but I'm gonna give you the card back. Now, that was the most dumbest thing to do. Never accept anything from your stalkers. I was so young and stupid. I literally was just like, oh bro, no, absolutely not, no. So I told my dad this. My dad beat the shit out of me. Like, he was just like, don't you fucking do that. Yeah, it was so stupid of me. And when that year ended, it was hard during the summer, because I was trying to get back to my bubbly self, and it was just not working. So when I came back for junior year, I had dreads when I was in 10th grade. So in the 11th grade, I combed out my dreads, took me 3 days, and had a whole new hairstyle, was just trying to figure out what to do with my hair. And I remember in the middle of my junior year, the administrator was like, you're gonna be walking with the stalker, with T, the stalker, to lunch. My school has 5 floors. My second period class was on the 5th floor, which means each floor has a certain time frame to go to lunch. My floor, the 5th floor, was the last lunch. So I had to walk with him down the stairs, 5 levels of stairs, to lunch. Did not say a word, did not want to talk to him, didn't even look at him in the eye. I was still afraid of him. Could not forgive him for years, even after I graduated. I want to say 3-4 years passed after I graduated, and during that time, that's when Facebook started to become booming and everything. And I made a post about my experience, and he commented and acted like it was my fault for it happened, which we had a whole nother conversation through the messenger. I can't remember what it was said, but I do remember that I said that you hurt me, like you lost my friendship. We can never be friends. We can never be cool ever again. And then he said his reasons for why he put me through that much hell, because I was his final straw. When he was at his last school, there was girls that he liked so much, and they turned him down so many times because of the way he looked, or because they just didn't see him as a boyfriend type. So when I said no, that was his final straw that broke the camel's back, and he just put all his frustration and anger that was built up in him on me, and he apologized. But the way he apologized was just like, even though it was your fault, I'm still going to apologize, but not fully apologize. Do I want his apology now? No, because now I'm able to talk about it without crying hysterically. And now I'm able to say, if something is wrong with this friendship with this person, or if this person is making you feel any type of uncomfortable, it's time to speak up. Do not mute, do not hold your tongue. Stand your ground and have somebody in your corner. And through that, I'm just thankful to be alive. Thank you for watching my channel. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you like this video, if you want to share your experience, if you ever experienced being stalked by someone either in school or outside of school. That's my story.